Okay, this meeting, calling to order the Ways and Means Judiciary 9:45 agenda. This meeting, including the audio and video of participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. You will find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website. In the event we have to end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene Friday, April 8th, 10:35 in this room. Public notice will be posted on our website. This is a decision-making. No oral testimony will be taken for these measures. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislature's website. You will find the link on the status page for this measure. Okay. I just got to the first one. Okay, first item, House Bill 2171. Recommendation is to pass with amendments, adopt LRB Tech amendments, and per OIP's testimony, amend page 42, line 21 to delete the current item. The name of the descendant, leaving a list of only 6 mandatory items instead of the current 7. And on page 43, replace subsection B with the following. The director may disclose the descendant's name or other information not specified in subsection B, provided that the director shall not disclose information protected from disclosure by state or federal law. And from DHHL's testimony, insert language on page 27, line 2, including the deployment of adequate resources and coordination with county police departments to protect the health and safety of homestead communities on Hawaiian homelands. And in working with the Department of Public Safety and the Deputy Attorney General, we will amend the measure to include 3 additional appropriations for the following purposes. $4,121,309 in general funds for the position salaries outlined in Part 7, Section 51. $1 million in general funds for planning and design for a training and staff deployment, TSD multi-purpose training and administrative support facility at Milani Tech Park, Oahu, within the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. $1 million in general funds for the planning and design of a new Department of Law Enforcement complex at Milani Tech Park. The new Department of Law Enforcement complex shall be developed with multi-purpose law enforcement use to consolidate and support headquarters and administrative services of the affected functions involved, training and related support services, and the facilities as required by law for the Department of Law Enforcement to operate and function, and $1.6 million in general funds for the pay increase of deputy sheriffs currently at a salary schedule of SR 18 will be moved to SR 20, SR 20 will be moved to SR 22, SR 22 will be moved to SR 24, and SR 24 will be moved to SR 26. Any discussion?
Would you be willing to entertain the show call amendment, which basically says,
Yeah, you can read it.
okay, that it was to clarify that state law enforcement duties will not diminish the authority of county police officers. Okay. And I think if it's okay with you, something in the committee report that just says the vacancies and retentions are going to hamstring this whole plan. If we can't get enough police officers to fill the spots, we're going to have trouble. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
There's no other discussion. Chair votes aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Nolan?
Aye.
Senator Kanuha?
Aye.
Senator Johnny?
Aye.
Senator Misalucha?
Aye.
Senator Morawaki?
Aye.
Senator Shimabukuro?
Aye.
Senator Taniguchi?
Aye.
Senator Wakai? Yes. Senator Pavella,
Aye.
recommendation adopted.
For JDC members, same recommendation. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Members, HB 2171-62 passing with unanimous. Chair Rhodes.
Aye.
Vice Chair goes aye. Senator Ocasio.
Reservations.
Senator Gabbard.
Aye.
Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Lee.
Aye.
Senator Pavella. Aye. Recommendation adopted.
Okay, thank you. Next up is HB 2159. This renames the Hawaii Workforce Development Council as the Hawaii Workforce Development Board. Requires the governor to appoint an executive director of the boards from a list of 3 nominees submitted by the board. Prohibits members of the Hawaii Workforce Development Board and local workforce development boards from engaging in any activity determined by the governor to constitute conflict of interest. Our recommendation here is to pass with some amendments as requested by DLIR and Senator Taniguchi's prior concurrence, I believe. We'll revert to the previous conflict of interest language. Directs the statewide and local workforce development board to develop their own written conflict of interest policies consistent with corresponding federal law and the state ethics code. And additionally, will set restrictions on board and committee members from voting in certain circumstances from engaging in other activities as determined by the governor to be a conflict. I was going to recommend effective upon approval, but if you prefer not, I'm either way. Why don't we go with effective upon approval then? Okay. Questions or concerns? If not, for the Senator Kaloli for the vote.
Members, HB 2159 HC1 SC1 passing with amendments. Chair Rhodes.
Aye.
Vice Chair goes aye. Senator Ocasio.
Aye.
Senator Gabbard.
Aye.
Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Lee.
Aye.
Senator Pavella. Aye. Recommendation adopted.
Ways and Means, same recommendation.
Okay, with all members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you, members. Next up is HB 2336. This relates to the photo red light imaging detector system program. Clarifies, makes some amendments to provisions in Chapter 291J. Our recommendation here is to pass with some amendments. We'll accept all of the prosecutor's amendments, which are basically technical in nature and can be referenced in their testimony, honorable prosecutor. And then we'll process the tickets generated in the same manner as tickets for the same kind of violation would be processed currently. The language that's currently in the bill takes away some of the defenses that you would normally have in an attempt to streamline things, and I don't think that's, I think they should be treated the same as any other ticket. And except for the part that will stay would be that the photo is still evidence, prima facie evidence that you violated the law. So, and we'll leave the date bad. Questions or concerns? If not, Vice Chair.
Members passing with amendments, knowing the presence of all members of the committee, are there any noes or reservations?
Reservation.
And no vote for Senator Pavella.
No.
Reservations for Senator Kim. Any other reservations or opposition?
No.
No vote for Ocasio. All other members vote aye. Recommendation adopted.
Ways and Means, same recommendation.
Okay, with 11 members present, knowing the no vote from Senator Pavella, any other noes? Any reservations from WAM? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we will call the Joint Committees of Commerce and Consumer Protection and Ways and Means to order for one measure. The measure is House Bill 1570, Senate Draft 1 relating to youth vaping epidemic. There was some discussion on this measure that maybe this was opening up and making it easier. In fact, the strictures in this measure follow FDA guidance, and the FDA has just announced that they are in the process of making sure that many of the flavors that appeal to young people are banned. In addition, they are concerned about the nicotine content, and so they're addressing that. But this bill is even more timely because it would take care of any product that has nicotine in it. And I don't know whether you're aware or not, but there's now a synthetic nicotine that is just as addictive, and it's not derived from tobacco. So fortunately, this measure, as it came to us, just says nicotine. So it's a very forward-thinking bill, as it turns out. And so and it does have a defective date. In case, as time goes on, before we get to conference, there's something else that might need to be incorporated. So the recommendation of the chairs having conferred is to pass unamended. Any questions or comments? Okay. All right, for CPN members, chair votes aye.
Senator Chang.
Aye.
Senator Detroit.
Aye.
Vote aye. Senator Review. Excuse. Senator Zavella.
Is San Buenaventura here?
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to it.
Okay.
Sorry. Senator San Buenaventura.
I think she's excused as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Motion adopted, Chair.
The same recommendation for Ways and Means. Chair votes aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Secretary Noe.
Aye.
Senator Newman.
Aye.
Senator Kidani.
Aye.
Senator Salucha.
Aye.
Senator Marawaki.
Aye.
Petitioner Bukuro.
Aye.
Senator Taniguchi.
Aye.
Senator Wakai. Yes. Senator Bella.
Aye.
Recommendation adopted.
Thank you,
Thank you.
members. That adjourns.
Welcome, everybody. This is the decision-making session for the Committee on Labor, Culture, the Arts, and the Committee on Ways and Means. We have before us today's House Bill 1785, House Draft 1, Senate Draft 1, relating to tourism governance. Both chairs have been working along with Senators Wakai and Moriwaki on this bill. Would like to recommend that we pass this bill with amendments. We will, the amendments will be, we'll amend section 201B-7B to require HTA to develop destination management action plans for each county. In part 2, we'll insert exceptions to allow certain entities to contract for services or programs within one or more than one core function. We'll change source of funding for HTA from general revenues to American Rescue Plan funds. We'll change appropriation for HTA administrative costs to $4,984,417. We'll provide for the lapse of funds appropriated to LRB for the tourism study on June 30th, 2024. And we'll make other technical non-substantive amendments for the purposes of clarity and consistency. Do you have any discussion? If not, I guess I will read off. Committee on Labor. Recommendation is to pass House Bill 1785, House Draft 1, Senate Draft 1 with amendments. Chair votes aye. Senator Ihara is excused. Senator Chang.
Aye.
Senator Keokalole is excused. Senator Favela.
Aye.
Thank you.
Ways and Means, same recommendation.
Senator Del Cruz.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Secretary Noe.
Aye.
Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Kidani.
Aye.
Senator Salucha.
Aye.
Senator Marawaki.
Aye.
Senator Bukuro.
Aye.
Senator Taniguchi.
Aye.
Senator Bella.
Aye.
Senator Wakai. Yes. Recommendation adopted.
Thank you, members. Recess.
Okay, calling the 10:20 agenda for Ways and Means to order. First item, House Bill 1837. Recommendation is to pass with amendments, adopt LRB Tech amendments. Amend to add language to page 1, line 13, to read not including units under consider construction or already in the permitting process. Amend the purpose section to read, the purpose of this act is to encourage, foster increased interagency coordination and increase public awareness on ongoing efforts to increase the supply of housing by holding annual workshops. This will set the stage for needed legislation that will increase housing supply. Replace the existing language in section 3, page 3, lines 15 through page 4, lines 5, with the following. Prior to the end of session, the legislature may inform the agencies of specific topics that should be addressed in the following annual workshop. Strike out the remaining language from page 5, line 1 to page 7, line 6, and include various technical amendments to effectuate the measure's purpose. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Noel. Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Donnie.
Aye.
Senator Lucha.
Aye.
Senator Morawaki.
Aye.
Senator Bakura.
Aye.
Senator Taguchi.
Aye.
Senator Wakai. Yes. Senator Favela.
Aye.
Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1983. Recommendation is to pass with amendments. Per DBED, amend section 1, page 1 to insert the following language to clarify the existing 5 positions in the film branch. See all existing positions within the film branch of Creative Industries Division of the department shall maintain their current civil service status and duties as described. Amend to include an additional 65,000 appropriation amount and delete language establishing 1 administrative assistant position. And LRB Tech amendments. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Okay, with all 11 members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2000. Recommendation is to pass as is. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Okay, with all members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2225. Recommendation is to pass as is. Any discussion? Not Chair votes aye.
Okay, with all members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2338. Recommendation is to defect pass with amendments affecting the date to 2050. Any discussion? If not, Chair votes aye.
Okay, with all members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 2339. Recommendation is to bank the appropriation out of the State Highway Fund into the State Drug and Alcohol Toxicology Testing Laboratory Special Fund. Oh, sorry. And we're going to adopt it with LRB Tech amendments. Any discussion? That Chair votes aye.
Okay, with all members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item. Recommendation is to pass with amendments, adopt LRB Tech amendments, amend to change the lead agency from HHFDC to School Facilities Authority. Remove specific geographic and TMK references and change the intended population from classroom teachers in the beginning of their careers to a community with schools experiencing a high shortage of teachers. Any discussion? If not, Chair votes aye.
Okay, with all members present, any reservations?
Resolution.
Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Last item, House Bill 2515. Recommendation is to pass with amendments. Adopt LRB Tech amendments. amend to remove section 2, the appropriation language, and perfect the date upon approval. Any discussion? Not chair votes aye.
Okay, with all members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Okay, calling the 10:40 a.m. hearing of Ways and Means to order. First item, House Bill 510. We have some registered speakers. Will White, Hawaii Appleseed Center. Morning.
Morning. Morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Thank you for this opportunity to testify today on HB 510. I am Will White. I'm the director of the Hawaii Budget and Policy Center, which is a project of Hawaii Appleseed. So I'll be testifying on behalf of Hawaii Appleseed today. First off, I just want to really thank the committee for considering an extension to the state EITC, or Earned Income Tax Credit. We're incredibly encouraged that you're considering an extension of this program. The Earned Income Tax Credit is largely considered as one of the most effective anti-poverty tools that government has at its disposal to lift working families out of poverty, particularly families with children. And while an extension of this tax credit is definitely a step in the right direction, the EITC is far more effective as an anti-poverty tool and an economic lifeline when it's made fully refundable, just like the federal credit. In its current form, Hawaii's non-refundable EITC merely means that a household can reduce their tax liability, but they're not able to access the full value of the credit that they are actually eligible for. And so under a refundable EITC, it means that workers with the lowest incomes can receive a direct economic stimulus through a larger refund. Currently, workers with the lowest incomes here in the state simply aren't able to benefit from the EITC as well as they could or as well as they should be. And now, given that Hawaii has one of the highest costs of living in the country, this represents an essential economic lifeline that puts financial resources in the hands of families that need it the most. Our lowest income households simply are not benefiting from this tax credit as well as they could be. Now, many of these families were struggling prior to the pandemic, and the subsequent economic shock has put them even further behind economically. So the EITC really represents an opportunity for the legislature to put working families first and provide direct financial assistance to them so that they can afford their basic needs. Our report, Refunding Hawaii, which I'm happy to share with all the members of the committee here, estimates that under a refundable EITC, workers earning up to $25,000 a year, so that's the lowest income quintile, would see their average benefit in EITC raised from $149 to $386. So that may not seem like a lot, but for a working family that's struggling to make ends meet, that directly translates to food on the table, help paying the rent, gas in the tank to get to work, clothes on their kids' backs, and access to healthcare and other essential needs. So I want to thank everyone again for the opportunity to testify on the EITC. We respectfully request that you consider amending this bill so that the EITC is fully refundable and is made permanent. Doing so will help our working families bounce back from the pandemic and get on our path toward economic success. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Nicole Wu.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. I thank you for this opportunity to testify in person. I'm with Hawaii Children's Action Network Speaks, and I also thank you for adding an extension of the EITC to this bill because it is going to expire at the end of this year. And so we are glad that you are at least making sure that it doesn't expire. But reflecting what Will White was saying, the EITC is known by both Republicans and Democrats for decades at the federal level as one of the best anti-poverty programs. You have to be working to get it, and the more children that you have, the bigger your credit. And as your income goes up, your credit goes down. So it's really targeted at working families, especially those that are struggling to afford to live here in Hawaii. And it's a really great policy. 31 states have it, and the federal government has had it for decades. But we are one of only 5 states that does not have the refundability component that Will was mentioning. One very easy way to understand refundability is that currently Hawaii's credit is not refundable. So if you qualify for a credit that's bigger than the amount that you owe in taxes, you can't get that extra amount. If it is refundable, that means you can get that extra amount as a tax refund. And lots of research has shown that that money ends up going back into the local economy, goes back to local businesses. It's estimated that every dollar in EITC goes back in economic activity and local businesses at about $1.20 to even $2, depending on which numbers you look at. So it's good for the economy as well. We also have looked at numbers to see how this affects different racial and ethnic groups in Hawaii. And Hawaii and Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders already receive a larger EITC than the state average. And if the EITC became refundable, they would get the biggest boost from making the EITC refundable. So we also request that this committee consider making the EITC refundable so that it can really help families afford their housing, afford to live here in Hawaii. And just one other thing, DOTAX does a report every year. It shows that the last year that they looked at was tax year 2020. Families making $15,000 or less were only getting $83 from the EITC because it's not refundable here in Hawaii. The average was $328 or $29. So, we really want to boost up those families at the bottom that need this the most. And the refundability is the easiest way to do it. There's no extra bureaucracy. It's just changing a little bit in their tax forms, when they file them in the spring. So again, thank you for this opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Senator Mawaki.
Nicole. So, there's this almost double the cost for a refundable tax credit versus a non-refundable. What is the cost benefit for the state? I mean, do you have any figures, or maybe what EITC does in terms of effectiveness of the program, but also what is costing the state and what is the...
Yeah, thank you for that good question. So the refundability component is the difference between just zeroing out somebody's tax liability or letting them get a tax credit, a tax refund if they qualify for a bigger credit. And the tax refund is something at the federal level. A lot of people in Hawaii, tens of thousands of families in Hawaii get the federal, and they know they're going to get a tax refund in the spring. They use it to pay off bills, pay their rent, whatever. So we just want to add that component to the Hawaii EITC so that they can also get that tax refund if they qualify for it. And we know that lower income families put that money right back into the local businesses, back into the community. So, economists like Mark Zandi at Moody's.com estimate that the EITC is one of the best economic stimuluses, and that you get back $1.20 to, and even higher, but to be conservative, $1.20 back in the economy for every dollar that you spend in the EITC. Does that answer your question?
And so they currently have refundable EITC on the federal level.
The federal level, and out of 31 states that have it, 27 are refundable. So, or 26. I had Puerto Rico in my head. We're one of only 5 states that does not have the refundability. And there's 31 states that do have it. It's refundable, and most of them, the federal has always been refundable. And that key component of putting some extra money back in the wallets of these working families is what we're urging you to do today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Anything else?
Thank you. Christy McPherson.
Aloha,
Aloha.
Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Christy McPherson, and I'm actually speaking as an individual. I appreciate the opportunity to provide comments on the proposed Senate draft for House Bill 510, House Draft 1. When I suddenly found myself a single mother of my newborn and 2-year-old boys back in 2005, I couldn't work full time because it didn't make sense to work just so I could pay for childcare. It was a very trying and tiring year. After paying for my monthly rent and car insurance, I was broke with no child support whatsoever and had to use my credit card to pay for other necessities like food and toiletries. Unfortunately, this is such a common situation for thousands of other single parents in Hawaii. And then there are thousands of other families who work at low-wage jobs. I don't need to mention how hard it is for them because I'm sure you know these folks, many of whom are your constituents. When I received the federal EITC that year, it increased my tax return by an additional $4,000. Can you imagine the relief that a broke mom like I might feel when they receive that extra income? I used that money to immediately pay off my credit card that I used to take care of my boys that year, reducing my personal debt. It was extremely helpful to me, and I know it is for many other families that struggle day in and day out in Hawai'i. Our low-income workers need this tax credit, and they will continue needing it for years to come. Making the EITC permanent and refundable will guarantee that more money is placed in people's hands to improve their livelihoods, and they in turn will put the money right back into our own economy. Mahalo for your consideration.
Thank you. We do have people who did send in testimony. Anyone else wishing to testify? Okay. Next item. House Bill 1540. Director Hirai.
Morning, Chair Dela Cruz.
Good morning.
Vice Chair Keith Agaran, committee members, I'm Craig Hirai, Director of Finance of the state of Hawaii. Thank you for hearing this bill. Department of Budget and Finance supports this bill, and as in previous years, our staff is available to assist the legislature in refining and completing the bill. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Anyone else wishing to testify? Thank you. We're going to recess. Okay, calling the Ways and Means back to order for decision making. Okay, so we're going to recommend passing House Bill 510 with amendments, adopting the proposed SD1 with additional amendments, LRB tech amendments. We'll also amend the proposed SD1 to remove all sections related to the establishment of the vehicle registration tax credit, which means the bill will now solely focus on the earned income tax credit. And we will further amend to make the EITC refundable. And we'll, I think there's a sunset still. Quick recess. Okay, so we'll amend it to refundable. There still is a sunset date, and we'll perfect the date to upon approval. Any discussion? If not, chair votes aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Secretary Noe. Senator Newhouse.
Aye.
Senator Kidani.
Aye.
Senator Misalucha.
Aye.
Senator Morawaki.
Aye.
Senator Bakuro.
Aye.
Senator Kanagisi.
Aye.
Senator Wakai.
Yes.
Senator Vella.
Aye.
Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. Next item, House Bill 1540. Recommendation is to pass an amendments adopting LRB tech amendments. Any discussion? Not chair votes aye.
With all members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. If you're not here for the other bills, feel free to leave. You don't have to feel like you have to stay. Even though you got mostly what you wanted, you can leave. Okay, calling the 1043 agenda to order. Oh, this is decision making for Ways and Means. Excuse me. Coffee because it's so expensive. No. Okay, the Senate approached this supplemental budget for the judiciary with the intent to create a so the recommendation is to pass with amendments. We're going to include priorities for Olelo Hawaii transition services, increased legal aid services, and critical transition for women re-entering the community once exiting the Women's Community Correctional Center. There's appropriated out of the general revenues, $750,000 for fiscal year 22-23 for the purchases of service contracts for legal services. Additional $2.3 million for the purchase of service contracts, guardian ad litem contracts, and court appointed counsel contracts. And $250,000 for nonprofit to contract for the judiciary to contract nonprofit organizations to provide legal counsel and assistance to low-income immigrants in immigration-related proceedings, including deportation, defense asylum, and for other immigration legal issues. And $300,000 to support the judiciary's Olelo Hawaii project, $100,000 for a program coordinator, and $200,000 for implementation, including translation services, website upgrades, preparation of materials, and educational efforts. And $2.5 million for a 5-year recidivism prevention pilot program. $95,562 for administrator navigator, $353,856 for program specialist 2, $1.6 million for housing voucher, $200,000 childcare voucher program, $150,582 for transition office equipment and supplies. And this should, provided that provided that the transition shall provide assistance to individuals exiting the Women's Community Correctional Center and successfully rejoining their families and communities. Any discussion?
Can we ask for Third Circuit Court, with the Judiciary, if I see them there, if the positions, the 3 judges that were appointed and served are, we cut them off in the budget last time. So did we put the monies back in to pay for the 3? I understand, Third Circuit Court. Thank you.
You didn't want to ask that when the agenda got posted? Okay, recess. Okay, and I think we're also gonna make the date effective, but we'll defer this till tomorrow, 10:35 a.m. In this room to get an answer for the senator from the Big Island. Okay, adjourn. Okay, this is the 10:45 agenda decision making for Ways and Means, House Bill 1600. Okay, recommendation is to pass with amendments. I think most of the amendments have been shared with the members. So the effective date is upon approval. So any discussion? Okay. You have a
There was
question?
an inquiry from HCDA about some Kalailua funding and whether it could be change from D to C funds. I emailed it to Dean.
The proposed CIP project is been switched to C funds in our draft.
Okay,
This is the Saratoga.
I think, yes, in Kalailua, Saratoga, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, it's proposed in our Senate draft one. It says. C funds.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, first and foremost, I want to thank those who helped help craft the Senate draft, the Senate committee chairs, the department directors. Most of you are very easy to work with. Chairs, the vice chairs of the vice chair of the committee, of this committee, and the members of this committee, and the budget team, and the staff. They did an excellent job. Preparing the state budget always provides a challenge, provides challenges along the way. Even with the rebounding of the state's economy and increased tax revenues, we must still follow the federal guidance in meeting the maintenance and effort. The Senate approached the supplemental budget with an intent to create a responsible financial plan that includes a budget that incorporates strategies to improve the state's financial strength, alongside restoring and increasing funding for critical services and programs that were reduced due to the COVID pandemic. The Senate draft includes the following. Addressing human trafficking and fraud, the following programs will be established under the Department of Attorney General. 9 positions and $754,000 for sex and human trafficking prevention. 9 positions and $834,000 to assist in the control of fraud, white collar crime, and public corruption. For Kupuna Care, 1.5 million in ARPA funds for Kupuna caregivers statewide, and 9 million for the Kupuna Care program. 2 million for the UH Kupuna Health and Innovation Center to conduct a development study. for culture and historic preservation, $10 million for the Bernice Pauahi Bishop Museum, and $2 million for the Iolani Palace, and $14 million for the Mauna Kea Stewardship and Management. Making our state processes more efficient by modernizing our aging infrastructure, we're adding $2,295,000 in general funds and $4,455,000 in federal funds for the Keiki System Modernization Program project to improve the processing of child support payments. $14,768,429 in general funds and $1,408,095 in federal funds to upgrade our State Department IT software and equipment. $28,051,654 in general funds, $2,225,394 in special funds to centralize digitization and archiving of records for 11 state departments. In aiding farmers and ranchers and supporting farm to school, $165,700 for the agriculture loan division, $425,000 for the agricultural subsidy program for farmers affected by coffee bearer borer and coffee leaf rust and ranchers affected by spittlebug, $26 million for dam and spillway improvements and land acquisition, 4 positions and $658,480 for the aquacultural development, $800,000 for access deer and ungulate fencing for local farmers and another $1 million for access deer mitigation, $6 million for Agricultural Innovation Center in Kekaha, $45,500,000 for centralized kitchens for farm to school program, $146,000 for 3 positions for the Maui Food Innovation Center, $6,364,830 for the automated greenhouses across the state. For housing and homelessness, providing rental assistance and funding to support the renovation of existing units and the development of new units for affordable housing across the state. $310 million for affordable housing, $10,196,861 in federal funds to raise the federal fund ceiling for rental assistance services, $2.5 million and 1 position for a program specialist for the Homeless Triage Center pilot program, $300,000 for the Homeless Data Clearinghouse, $25 million for the Hawaii Public Housing Authority to renovate existing units, and $15 million for the implementation of the Ohana Zones pilot program. To help grow our economy and supporting small business, $3.5 million for HTTC grants to include funding for accelerator programs, manufacturing grants, and small business loans. $1 million for matching of the Office of Naval Research grants, and for workforce development and education, $5,293,416 and 7 positions for a statewide internship program that will place 300 interns and 30 Department of Education students across state departments, $200,000 and 2 positions for adult workforce programs, $1,540,000 and 8 positions to expand non-credit workforce development opportunities, $557,097 and 4 positions to address the teacher workforce shortage, $2 million for early learning classrooms, $1 million to provide menstrual equity across the state, $94 million for a pilot teacher salary modernization program, $34,500,000 for a teacher salary differential, $5,525,566 for a virtual learning center, $104 million to expand academy education model to middle and high school across the state, $1,022,499 and 17 teacher positions to provide statewide special education teacher mentor program, $300,000 in general funds and $5,700,000 in federal funds for after-school programs, summer programs, and $4.8 million for the Hawaii Promise program. In reducing the pipeline to prison and recidivism, $250,000 in ARPA funds for adult workforce programs for incarcerated women, $2.5 million for land acquisition for the Papahana Oka'ina Alternative Learning Center, $450,000 for mental health and transition services for the Oahu Youth Correctional Facility, and $500,000 for pre-entry and post-entry programs for inmates. For the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, $487,614,000 for the development of new housing lots in East Kapolei, Waimanalo, Pu'unani Homestead Subdivision, Keokea, Waiahuli, Leali'i, Ho'olehua, Hanapepe, Laiopua villages, Ka'u, and Honomu. And $112,386,000 for down payment assistance or mortgage payment assistance to beneficiaries. For healthcare, $99,433,565 for, and $71 million in the fiscal year 23 for the coronavirus disease pandemic mitigation. We're going to retain Hawaii Healthcare Systems Corporation, Oahu region, by providing $35 million in special funds and 440 positions. $8,923,000 for the Maui Health Systems. $1,740,672 for registered nurses to provide 24-hour healthcare services at neighbor island facilities. $3,340,000 and 6 positions to expand JAPSOM's residency program to neighbor islands. $3,456,489 to address the statewide nursing shortage. For critical social services and assistance, $3,925,980 in general funds and $19,168,020 in federal funds for fiscal year 23 for TANF and TAONF benefit allotment. $5 million in special funds to raise the ceiling for spouse and child abuse special fund. $1.2 million to promote recruitment and retainment within the social workers division. $1,066,860 in general funds and $1,820,438 in federal funds, and 25 positions in fiscal year 23 for childcare support. $2,449,040 in general funds, $3,448,465 in federal funds to extend the Medicaid postpartum benefit and from 2 months to 12 months. $8,823,781 in general funds, $17,128,516 in federal funds to implement the second option for adult dental benefits to the Medicaid program. $300,000 in ARPA funds for social assistance crisis hotline. $570,156 for 6 clinical psychologists to expand suicide prevention services. $1,220,000 for the emergency food assistance program for the city and county of Honolulu. $400,000 for emergency food assistance program for Hawaii County. $260,000 for Maui County, and $120,000 for Kauai County. So those are just the highlights. There are many other things in the budget. So again, I want to thank the departments, the Senate leadership, the committee chairs, the vice chair of Ways and Means, and the committee members and the WAM staff. Any further discussion? Okay, if not, chair votes aye.
Proposal is to adopt House Bill 1600, House Draft 1 with amendments. Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye, Senator Noe,
Aye.
Senator Kanuha,
Aye.
Senator Kidani,
Aye.
Senator Misalucha,
Aye, and thank you for your leadership, Chair.
Thank you.
Senator
Aye.
Senator Shimabukuro,
Aye.
Senator Taniguchi,
Aye.
Senator Wakai,
Yes.
Senator Favela,
Aye.
recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.